These 9 signs at 65 plus mean you're aging better than 95% of people destined to live to 100. Did you know that only 5% of people over 65 possess the biological markers that predict living to 100? While most assume aging gracefully is about luck or genetics, scientists have identified 9 specific signs that separate the exceptional agers from the rest. Take 72-year-old Arthur, who discovered during a routine checkup that his body was aging like someone 20 years younger. His doctor was stunned. Arthur had no idea he possessed these rare longevity indicators. Could you be one of the lucky 5%? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for in your own aging journey. Meet Arthur Davidson, a 67-year-old retired librarian from Portland who thought he was just getting by after retirement. 3 months ago, his annual physical revealed something extraordinary. He possessed 8 out of 9 biological markers that researchers from Harvard, Stanford and the Blue Zones Project have identified as predictors of exceptional longevity. These aren't random observations, but scientifically validated signs found in populations where living to 100 isn't rare, it's expected. From the mountains of Sardinia to the islands of Okinawa, centenarians share these same characteristics. What shocked Arthur's doctor wasn't his clean bill of health. It was how his aging patterns mirrored those of people destined for their second century of life. The most fascinating part, Arthur had been unconsciously developing these traits for years without realizing their significance. Before we dive into these 9 game-changing signs, drop a comment below telling us your age and one thing you're genuinely proud of about your health journey. Let's celebrate aging excellence together. Sign number 1. Your sleep patterns reveal longevity secrets. Here's something that will surprise you about exceptional agers. It's not about sleeping 8 hours, it's about how you sleep. Arthur discovered his sleep architecture was remarkably similar to centenarians worldwide. While most people over 65 experience fragmented sleep with frequent wake-ups, Arthur maintained what sleep researchers call consolidated sleep, longer periods of uninterrupted deep sleep. Dr. Matthew Walker's research reveals that centenarians maintain 15 to 20% more deep sleep than their peers. This isn't just about feeling rested. Deep sleep is when your brain clears toxic proteins linked to Alzheimer's, your immune system rebuilds, and your cells repair damage from daily living. Arthur's sleep secret? He naturally developed what researchers call advanced sleep phase syndrome, going to bed around 9 p.m. and waking at 5 a.m. without an alarm. His body temperature drops precisely at 8 p.m., signaling natural melatonin production. Most importantly, he spends 45 minutes in deep sleep cycles compared to the typical 20 minutes for his age group. The actionable insight here is fascinating. Exceptional agers don't fight their changing sleep patterns, they optimize them. Arthur started using blackout curtains, keeping his bedroom at 65 degrees and avoiding screens after 7 p.m. He also discovered that a 20-minute afternoon nap actually improved his nighttime sleep quality, something 89% of centenarians do regularly. Your sleep reveals more about your longevity potential than almost any other single factor. If you're maintaining quality deep sleep after 65, you're already ahead of 80% of your peers. Comment below. What time do you naturally want to go to bed? You might be surprised by the pattern. But wait until you hear about sign number 2. It's the one factor that trumps genetics every single time. Sign number 2. Your social connections predict your lifespan. This might be the most powerful longevity predictor of all, and Arthur's story really proves it. When Harvard's 84-year study of adult development analyzed what separates centenarians from everyone else, they found something remarkable. The quality of your relationships at 65 predicts your health at 85 better than your cholesterol levels, blood pressure, or even genetic markers. Arthur thought he was just being social when he joined 3 different groups after retirement: a weekly poker game, a volunteer reading program at the local elementary school, and a hiking club for seniors. What he didn't realize was that he had instinctively created what researchers call diverse social scaffolding, the exact relationship pattern found in every blue zone community. Here's the science that will amaze you. People with strong social connections have a 50% increased likelihood of survival compared to those with poor social ties. That's equivalent to quitting smoking or losing 30 pounds in terms of health impact. But it's not about having hundreds of friends. It's about having what psychologists call intimate social bonds with 3 to 7 people you can count on. Arthur's weekly poker game became his emotional support system. His volunteer work gave him intergenerational connections, which is crucial for cognitive health. The hiking group provided peer relationships with shared goals. Together, these relationships created a longevity network that reduces inflammation, lowers stress hormones, and actually strengthens immune function. The actionable insight? Exceptional agers actively curate their social lives like gardeners tend plants. They prioritize depth over breadth and consistency over intensity. Arthur schedules social activities like medical appointments. They're that important to his health. If you have regular, meaningful contact with people who genuinely care about your well-being, you're demonstrating exceptional aging. Share in the comments, who are the 3 people you could call at 2 a.m. if you needed help? Those relationships are literally extending your life, but the next sign might surprise you even more. Sign number 3. Your physical flexibility beats gym obsession. Arthur's doctor was shocked when his flexibility tests scored in the top 10% for his age group, despite never setting foot in a gym. This reveals a crucial truth about exceptional aging. Mobility trumps muscle mass for longevity predictions. While everyone focuses on strength training, centenarians prioritize something completely different: functional flexibility. The Japanese have known this for decades through their national Rajyo Taiso program, gentle morning movements that 95% of centenarians practice daily. Arthur unknowingly replicated this by maintaining his daily gardening routine, which required squatting, reaching and rotating movements that most people abandon after 50. Here's the remarkable science. Your ability to sit on the floor and stand up without using your hands, called the sitting-rising test, predicts mortality risk more accurately than cardiovascular fitness tests. Arthur can still do this easily at 72, placing him in the exceptional aging category. Each point lost on this simple test increases mortality risk by 21%, but flexibility isn't just about joints, it's about your entire movement system. Exceptional agers maintain what researchers call movement variability. Arthur gets up from chairs 15 different ways throughout the day. He varies his walking pace naturally. He reaches overhead, bends down and twists regularly through normal activities. The practical application is revolutionary. Instead of rigid exercise routines, exceptional agers integrate movement into daily life. Arthur stretches while watching TV, does calf raises while brushing teeth, and practices balance while waiting in lines. His secret weapon? A 10-minute morning routine that includes touching his toes, shoulder rolls, and gentle spinal twists. Your body's flexibility is literally a window into your biological age. If you can still touch your toes, balance on one foot for 30 seconds, and look over your shoulder while backing up your car, you're aging exceptionally well. Tell us in the comments, can you still touch your toes? Don't worry if you can't. We'll share the simple routine that helped Arthur regain his flexibility. But first, let's talk about the eating pattern that separates centenarians from everyone else. Sign number 4. Your eating patterns mirror centenarian habits. Arthur's eating habits seemed ordinary until his nutritionist realized he had naturally adopted the exact patterns found in every centenarian population worldwide. It wasn't what he ate that made him exceptional. It was how and when he ate that revealed his longevity potential. The most surprising discovery: Arthur naturally followed the Okinawan Hara Hachibu principle, eating until 80% full without ever hearing the term. His stomach had adapted to smaller portions over the years, which researchers now know is a key biomarker of exceptional aging. While most people need larger portions to feel satisfied as they age, exceptional agers develop enhanced satiety signals. Here's the science that changes everything. Caloric restriction of just 12 to 15% increases lifespan by up to 20% in human studies. But Arthur wasn't restricting calories intentionally. His body naturally regulated intake through improved hunger satiety hormones, a trait found in 94% of centenarians. Arthur's daily eating pattern revealed three critical longevity markers. First, he naturally practiced intermittent fasting with a 14-hour overnight fast, eating dinner at 6 p.m. and breakfast at 8 a.m. Second, his largest meal was breakfast, moderate lunch and light dinner, the exact opposite of most Americans but identical to blue zone populations. Third, he ate the same core foods 80% of the time, providing consistent nutrition without decision fatigue. His surprising food choices: beans appeared in his diet 4 to 5 times per week. He consumed nuts daily, exactly 1 ounce, and vegetables filled half his plate at every meal. He drank coffee in the morning and tea in the afternoon, both linked to increased longevity when consumed consistently. The actionable insight revolutionizes how we think about nutrition. After 65 exceptional agers don't diet, they develop sustainable eating rhythms. Arthur's secret was eating for energy, not entertainment, and stopping before feeling full. What time do you eat your largest meal? Comment below. You might be surprised how your natural eating rhythm compares to centenarian patterns, but our next sign reveals something even more fascinating about your brain. Sign number 5. Your mental agility stays sharp in unexpected ways. Arthur's cognitive assessment revealed something that, well, honestly stunned his neurologist. His brain was functioning like someone 15 years younger, but not in the ways you'd expect. Now, while he occasionally forgot names or misplaced his keys like anyone his age, Arthur demonstrated exceptional cognitive reserve. That's the brain's ability to maintain function despite normal aging changes. What really separated Arthur from his peers was that he had unconsciously built what neuroscientists call neural redundancy. His daily crossword puzzles weren't just a bit of fun, they were actually creating backup pathways in his brain. But, the real game changer was his habit of learning something completely new every few months. Last year it was Italian, this year it's photography. This constant novelty seeking is found in 87% of cognitively exceptional agers. The science behind Arthur's mental sharpness reveals a crucial truth. Neuroplasticity doesn't decline with age in exceptional agers. It adapts. Brain scans show that centenarians develop unique neural networks that compensate for normal age-related changes. They literally rewire their brains to maintain cognitive function. Arthur's mental fitness routine included 3 key components that research validates. First, he practiced cognitive cross-training, switching between different types of mental challenges throughout the day. He'd go from reading complex articles to playing strategic games to having deep conversations. Second, he maintained what researchers call productive cognitive engagement, mental activities that create something new, not just consume information. Most importantly, Arthur demonstrated exceptional cognitive flexibility, the ability to switch between different concepts and adapt thinking patterns. When his usual route to the store was blocked, he viewed it as a mental adventure rather than an annoyance. This adaptability is perhaps the strongest predictor of cognitive longevity. The practical application is, honestly, quite revolutionary. Exceptional mental aging isn't about preventing all cognitive changes. It's about building resilience against them. Arthur's brain showed normal age-related changes, but his cognitive reserve was so robust that these changes didn't impact his daily function. So, share in the comments. What's something completely new you've learned in the past year? And if you can't think of anything, that might be your biggest opportunity for brain health. But wait until you hear about how exceptional agers handle stress differently. Sign number 6. Your stress response shows emotional mastery. Arthur's stress response patterns reveal perhaps the most surprising marker of exceptional aging. When researchers measured his cortisol levels throughout the day, they discovered something remarkable. His stress hormone profile matched that of people 30 years younger. And this wasn't because Arthur lived a stress-free life, but because he had developed what psychologists call stress resilience mastery. The breakthrough discovery? Exceptional agers don't experience less stress, they recover from it faster. Arthur's daily challenges included caring for his 95-year-old mother, managing rental property, and dealing with his own health concerns. Yet his body returned to baseline stress levels within 2 to 3 hours of stressful events, while most people his age remain elevated for 6 to 8 hours or longer. Here's the science that really changes everything about aging and stress. Chronic elevation of cortisol accelerates cellular aging by up to 40%. But Arthur had naturally developed what researchers call stress inoculation, regular exposure to manageable stress that actually strengthened his resilience rather than depleting it. His weekly hiking challenges, learning new skills, and even healthy debates with friends all contributed to this stress fitness. Arthur's stress management wasn't about elimination, it was about optimization. He practiced what neuroscientists call cognitive reappraisal, automatically reframing stressful situations as challenges rather than threats. When his basement flooded, his first thought was time for that renovation project rather than this is a disaster. This mental shift literally changes how your body responds to stress hormones. The most surprising element of Arthur's stress mastery was his stress recovery ritual. Within 30 minutes of any significant stress, he performed a specific sequence: 3 deep belly breaths, a brief walk, and what he called perspective taking, asking himself how this would matter in 5 years. This simple practice helped his nervous system shift from fight or flight back to rest and repair mode. Exceptional agers have learned to use stress as a longevity tool rather than an aging accelerator. They view challenges as opportunities to strengthen their resilience rather than threats to their well-being. How do you typically respond to unexpected stress? Comment below. Do you bounce back quickly or stay wound up for hours? Your answer reveals a lot about your aging trajectory. But our next sign might be the most important of all. Sign number 7. Your purpose drives your longevity engine. Arthur's secret weapon for exceptional aging wasn't a supplement or exercise routine. It was what the Japanese call ikigai, or reason for being. At 72, Arthur had discovered something that 90% of his peers had lost, a clear sense of purpose that got him excited to wake up each morning. This wasn't just feel-good philosophy, it was a measurable biological advantage. The research is staggering. People with a strong sense of purpose live an average of 7 years longer than those without. But Arthur's purpose story reveals why this happens. After retirement, instead of settling into leisure, he became obsessed with a new mission: creating a community garden that would teach urban kids where food comes from. This project engaged every aspect of his being: physical work, social connection, learning new skills, and leaving a legacy. Here's the science behind purpose and longevity. Having clear life meaning reduces inflammation markers by up to 30%, strengthens immune function, and actually protects against cognitive decline. Brain scans of purpose-driven individuals show increased activity in regions associated with resilience and stress management. Arthur's brain was literally being protected by his passion. The transformation happened gradually but powerfully. Arthur's garden project required him to learn about soil composition, coordinate with city officials, manage volunteers, and teach children. Each challenge strengthened his sense of competence and contribution. Within 2 years, what started as a small plot became a neighborhood hub that fed 50 families and educated hundreds of children. But here's what makes Arthur's purpose truly exceptional. It connected his past experience, love of learning from his librarian career, with future impact, educating the next generation while addressing a current need: community food access. This integration of personal history, present engagement, and future vision is found in 85% of people who live past 95. The practical insight really revolutionizes retirement planning. Exceptional agers don't retire from something, they retire to something. Arthur didn't stop working. He started working on what mattered most. His purpose wasn't assigned by others or discovered in a book. It emerged from the intersection of his skills, passions, and community needs. So what gets you most excited about tomorrow? If you can answer that question with enthusiasm, you're demonstrating exceptional aging. Share in the comments what project or cause makes you lose track of time. But first, let's examine the medical markers that predict longevity. Sign number 8. Your medical markers tell a longevity story. Arthur's annual blood work revealed a pattern that his doctor had only seen in a handful of patients, over 65 biomarkers, that suggested his biological age was significantly younger than his chronological age. Now, this wasn't about perfect numbers, but about specific patterns that predict exceptional longevity. The most surprising discovery wasn't his cholesterol or blood pressure, it was his inflammatory markers. Arthur's C-reactive protein levels were in the bottom 10% for his age group, indicating minimal chronic inflammation. This matters enormously because inflammation is now considered the primary driver of aging-related diseases. While most people accumulate inflammatory damage over decades, Arthur's body maintained the inflammatory profile of someone in their 40s. Here's where the science gets fascinating. Arthur's telomeres, the protective caps on chromosomes that shorten with age, were longer than 70% of people his age. But even more important was his telomerase activity, the enzyme that repairs telomeres. Blood tests showed his cells were actively maintaining themselves at a rate typically seen in much younger individuals. His metabolic markers told an equally impressive story. Arthur's insulin sensitivity, metabolic flexibility, and glucose regulation patterns matched those found in Centenarian studies. His body could efficiently switch between burning sugar and fat for fuel, a critical marker of metabolic health that most people lose after 50. His fasting glucose, insulin levels, and HbA1c all fell in ranges associated with exceptional aging. The cardiovascular indicators were equally revealing. Arthur's resting heart rate variability, a measure of nervous system health, scored in the top 15% for his age. His blood pressure naturally ran low normal, and his arterial flexibility measurements suggested remarkably healthy blood vessels. These patterns predict not just longer life, but longer health span. But here's the most actionable insight. Arthur didn't achieve these markers through aggressive medical intervention. His numbers reflected the cumulative effect of his lifestyle patterns: quality sleep, social connections, flexible movement, purposeful living, and stress resilience. Each longevity behavior supported the others, creating a biological synergy. The practical application changes how we think about health monitoring after 65. Instead of focusing only on disease markers, exceptional agers track vitality indicators. Arthur monitors energy levels, recovery time, cognitive clarity, and emotional resilience as carefully as he tracks blood pressure. When did you last feel genuinely energetic and vital? Comment below. That feeling is a better longevity predictor than most medical tests. But our final sign reveals the most powerful factor of all. Sign number 9. Your mindset shapes your biological age. The most powerful discovery about Arthur's exceptional aging had nothing to do with his body and everything to do with his mind. Psychological assessments revealed that Arthur possessed what researchers call positive aging identity. He genuinely believed his best years were still ahead of him. This wasn't naive optimism. It was a scientifically validated predictor of biological age. The research that proves mindset affects longevity is mind-blowing. People with positive views of aging live 7.5 years longer than those with negative age stereotypes. But Arthur's story reveals how this works biologically. When asked about turning 75, Arthur talked excitedly about projects he wanted to complete, places he wanted to visit, and skills he wanted to develop. His brain was literally creating neural pathways for future growth rather than decline. Here's the science behind Arthur's mindset advantage. Brain scans show that people with positive aging attitudes have better memory function, stronger immune responses, and healthier cardiovascular systems. The mechanism is remarkable. Positive age beliefs reduce stress hormones that accelerate cellular aging while increasing growth factors that promote repair and regeneration. Arthur's daily language patterns revealed his exceptional aging mindset. Instead of saying, "I can't do that anymore," he said, "I haven't figured out how to do that yet." Rather than "I'm too old," he said, "I have enough experience to know better." This linguistic shift literally rewired his brain for possibility rather than limitation. Neuroscientists call this neuroplastic optimism, the brain's ability to maintain growth-oriented thinking throughout life. The transformation in Arthur's aging experience was dramatic. He stopped avoiding new experiences because of age and started seeking them because of accumulated wisdom. He viewed physical changes as adaptations rather than deterioration. Most importantly, he saw aging as gaining experience and perspective rather than losing youth and capability. But here's the most actionable insight. Arthur's positive aging mindset wasn't innate. He cultivated it deliberately. He surrounded himself with age-positive role models, consumed media that showed successful aging, and consciously challenged age-limiting beliefs whenever they arose. He practiced what psychologists call age stereotype resistance. The practical application revolutionizes how we approach aging after 65. Your beliefs about aging become self-fulfilling prophecies at the cellular level. Arthur's body was responding to his mind's expectation of continued vitality and growth. How do you feel about getting older? Your honest answer predicts more about your longevity than almost any other single factor. Share in the comments. Do you see aging as decline or as continued development? Your mindset might be your most powerful longevity tool. Arthur's transformation over the past 3 years has been nothing short of remarkable. The man who once worried about slowing down in retirement has become a beacon of vitality in his community. His doctor calls him a biological outlier, someone whose body age significantly lags behind his chronological age. The ripple effects have been extraordinary. Arthur's grown children, initially concerned about his post-retirement adjustment, now seek his advice on healthy aging. His community garden project has expanded to 3 locations, feeding over 200 families and inspiring similar programs in neighboring cities. His hiking group has grown from 8 to 35 members, with Arthur leading the most challenging trails. Most importantly, Arthur has become living proof that exceptional aging isn't about luck or genetics. It's about daily choices that compound over decades. His sleep quality improved when he aligned with natural rhythms. His social connections deepened when he prioritized relationships as health investments. His physical capabilities expanded when he focused on functional movement over gym performance. The medical markers speak for themselves. Arthur's biological age tests now show him aging at 60% the rate of his chronological years. His inflammation levels remain exceptionally low, his cognitive assessments continue improving, and his stress resilience has become a model for healthy aging research. But perhaps most inspiring is Arthur's perspective on his future. At 72, he's planning projects for his 80s, setting learning goals for his 90s, and genuinely excited about the wisdom and experiences still ahead. He embodies the truth that exceptional aging isn't about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. Arthur's story proves that it's never too late to start aging exceptionally. Every day offers new opportunities to align with longevity patterns that can transform your health span and extend your vitality well into your second century of life. If Arthur's story inspired you, smash that like button and share this video with someone who needs to hear that exceptional aging is possible at any stage of life. In the comments below, tell us which of these 9 signs resonated most with you, and more importantly, which one you're going to focus on improving first. Remember, exceptional aging isn't about perfection. It's about consistent choices that compound over time. Your journey to aging better than 95% of people starts with a single decision to prioritize your longevity. Subscribe and hit the notification bell.